Welcome back to our channel, everyone. Today is an absolutely fantastic day to dive deep into the latest drama unfolding behind those famous gated walls. Grab your favorite beverage, get comfortable, and let us unpack the intense psychological warfare, fractured marriages, and brewing scandals hitting our favorite residents. We have a lot of ground to cover, so let us jump right in. If you ask me, the sheer volume of relationships currently being pushed to their absolute breaking points is staggering. We are witnessing a massive collision of family secrets, lingering romantic feelings, and ruthless power plays that are shaking the very foundation of this community. Let us start by looking at the incredibly toxic and dangerous dynamic brewing in that hospital room. Bill is quite literally flirting with a catastrophic disaster right now. The man just survived a major cardiac event and pacemaker surgery, yet he is actively choosing to play games with his heart and his life. Danny continues to linger by his bedside, and honestly, it is agonizing to discern. Both of them are standing on the precipice of completely shattering their respective marriages. We all know they share that heavy secret from the elevator during the tornado, and this lingering intimacy might just stem from their mutual penchant for dangerous flirtation. But let me tell you, it is more than enough to send Haley into a blinding rage. I have to say, Haley's reaction is entirely predictable, but no less terrifying. She is already operating under an immense amount of stress because her grand slow burn plot has been completely derailed. Now she has to deal with her husband's ex-wife hovering around like a guardian angel. Haley is furious and she is taking that frustration out on anyone in her path, especially Ashley. Poor Ashley is just trying to do her job as a medical professional, but Haley is relentlessly clashing with her. Haley has made it abundantly clear that she wants the entire Dupree family to stop interfering in Bill's life. From my perspective, Haley is losing control of her narrative, and a desperate Haley is a highly dangerous Haley. I genuinely fear for Danny if she keeps pushing her luck because Haley will not hesitate to eliminate a rival. Shifting gears to the family dynamics, we have to talk about the heartbreaking reality check happening with Eva. I was completely blown away by Eva's profound emotional maturity this week. Here is a young woman who has just survived a catastrophic tornado and a life-altering liver transplant, yet she is the one acting like the adult in the room. She is growing up in the most painful way possible, forced to watch Ted and Leslie drift further and further apart. When Eva looked at Leslie and explicitly told her to just forget about Ted, it was a pivotal television moment. If you ask my opinion, that single piece of advice proves that Eva has completely lost all hope of her parents ever reuniting. She sees the writing on the wall and she is desperately trying to save her mother from further humiliation. This brings us to the absolute powder keg of a confrontation between Ted and Carlton. Because Ava has accepted the end of her parents' relationship, the dynamic between the adults has shifted drastically. Carlton and Ted's conversation this week was incredibly intense and layered. Carlton is essentially trying to force Ted to understand that just because his romantic relationship with Leslie is definitively over, it does not absolve him of his responsibilities as a father to Ava. But Ted's ego is incredibly fragile right now. The tension escalated to a boiling point when Ted actually admitted that he has wanted to punch Carlton on multiple occasions. And how did Carlton respond? He did not back down for a single second. He bluntly challenged Ted to settle it right there on the spot. I honestly thought punches were going to be thrown. It is a classic clash of egos, but it is rooted in their mutual desire to protect the women they care about. On a much brighter note for Eva, her relationship with Isaiah is becoming one of the most grounded and beautiful storylines we have right now. These two are continuously facing some incredibly hard truths about their families and their own emotional baggage. But instead of letting those harsh realities tear them apart, they are using them to understand each other on a much deeper level. They are actively choosing to be a solid support system for one another. I firmly believe that surviving the trauma of the tornado and the surgery has bonded Eva and Isaiah in a way that very few couples ever experience. They are communicating, they are being vulnerable, and they are proving that true strength comes from facing the darkness together. Speaking of healthy choices and clarity, can we get a massive round of applause for Nicole? I am so relieved to see that she has finally made a definitive choice. She is no longer entertaining the idea of dating Carlton and is now in an exclusive, committed relationship with Kial. The love triangle is officially dead, and frankly, it is about time. What I found particularly interesting was Nicole's decision to proactively share this relationship update with Vanessa. By saying it out loud to someone else, Nicole is cementing her choice. It shows that she has entirely moved past her previous internal struggles and is ready to fully embrace this new chapter with Kial. It is refreshing to see a character actually communicate their boundaries and stick to them. However, we cannot say the same for Martin and Smitty, who are currently navigating a massive marital minefield. I have been warning you guys about this for weeks. Martin's soaring political ambitions are finally clashing head on with Smitty's relentless passion for investigative journalism. Martin desperately wants Smitty to play the role of the dutiful, supportive political spouse by attending his charity basketball game. But Smitty's true crime podcast is taking precedence, and she might have to break her promise to him. This is not just a scheduling conflict, it is a fundamental clash of priorities. To make matters worse, we have Shonda, Martin's fiercely pragmatic campaign manager, breathing down their necks. Shonda is incredibly concerned, and rightly so from a political standpoint. She knows that any controversy or danger associated with Smitty's true crime podcast, especially considering it involves the highly dangerous red market investigation, could severely damage Martin's carefully crafted public image and derail his entire campaign. If you ask me, Smitty's career choice is rapidly transforming from a quirky passion project into a massive wedge in their marriage. Martin's ego demands absolute loyalty, and Smitty's integrity demands she seek the truth. Something has to give, and I fear it is going to be their marriage. Now, guys, we desperately need a breather from all this intense psychological warfare, and thankfully, we are getting it with the blossoming romance between Noah and Deanna. Their storyline is providing some much-needed light and warmth. They are growing closer by the minute, especially after that incredibly sweet encounter at Uptown where Noah played his guitar just for her. It was such an intimate, genuine moment. Vanessa actually stumbled upon them and saw the spark, which prompted her to show up and support Noah at his big open mic night. The community aspect of the show is really shining through here. Deanna even took the initiative to invite Chelsea and Kat to join the audience, turning the open mic night into a real gathering. But of course, because this is the world we love to analyze, the performance hits a major snag. Noah's big moment is threatened, but in a wonderful twist, it is Nicole who steps in to save the day. I absolutely love this development. It shows Nicole in a nurturing, heroic light, and it reinforces the interconnectedness of these characters. It is a beautiful, low-stakes drama that balances out the heavy life or death situations happening elsewhere in town. But do not get too comfortable, because the dark undercurrents and dangerous machinations are still churning violently in the background. We have Jacob working closely with Grayson and Ashley to plan a major surprise for Naomi. Given everything Naomi has been through with her medical diagnosis, I am praying this surprise brings her some joy. But with Jacob's intense undercover trauma, I am always waiting for the other shoe to drop. Meanwhile, Vernon's grand plans for Anita have been abruptly interrupted. Vernon is a man who likes to be in total control, so seeing his carefully laid plans derailed is definitely going to cause some friction. Then we have the truly sinister elements lurking in the shadows. Randy is still out there quietly and desperately stalking Heather. We all know Heather is a highly lethal international criminal, so Randy is quite literally playing a game of Russian roulette by tracking her. Over at the hospital, Madison is caught in a web of deceit, receiving wildly conflicting stories from her rivals. I have a strong suspicion this is heavily tied to Haley's ongoing cover-ups and the malpractice lawsuit. Madison is a brilliant doctor, but she is navigating a political snake pit right now. And finally, we cannot ignore Andre. Well, Danny is busy hovering over Bill. Andre is out there continuing to make new dangerous threats. He is spiraling, dealing with his own stalker trauma and keeping massive secrets from his wife. The sheer amount of deception in that marriage is staggering. Every single character right now is holding onto a secret that could destroy their lives, and the pressure is building to a catastrophic level. I cannot wait to see which of these fragile dynamics shatters first, because when it happens, the fallout is going to be absolutely spectacular. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I will see you in the next breakdown.